You will by now have seen the harrowing vision of the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsing into the Patapsco River near Baltimore. Well, the Port of Baltimore, now closed, is landlocked. It handles an estimated $122 billion worth of goods each year. Shippers, they're scrambling to find alternative places to send or to ship their goods. We know the inflationary impact of supply chain disruptions from 3 years ago. So what about now? Well, Tom Jensen is the head of international freight and logistics at the Freight and Trade Alliance. He's been looking at this today and joins me. Tom, many thanks for your time. It is dramatic. It is harrowing quite clearly. Is it a significant economic event as well, do you sense?
Yeah, thanks, Ross. Yeah, it's not as significant as the likes of the Red Sea crisis or the Panama Canal drought that's going on at the moment. In total, the Baltimore port handles about 1.1 million 20-foot equivalent units of freight through their ports every year, which equates to about 21,000 TEU per week. In the grand scheme of things and compared to Australia, that's pretty similar to what Brisbane do. Brisbane do about 1.5 million TEU per year. So it's not quite the levels of Sydney or Melbourne, for instance, on terms of trade, but it's still quite significant. And they do handle a lot of vehicle movements through that port. They are the biggest vehicle port in the US, and also break bulk cargo, heavy machinery and farming machinery and so on.
So when a catastrophic event such as this occurs, is it easy for shippers to divert themselves to other ports to find slots at other places to unload their goods?
Yeah, generally along that route, you've got Norfolk and Virginia. You've also got New York and New Jersey fairly close. So the shipping lines have already released notices and advisories suggesting to customers that they will divert traffic through to other ports nearby. There have been some reports that New York and New Jersey seem to have the capacity at the moment to handle those cargo. So it should be okay in that scheme of things. However, there is a vehicle vessel stuck at that port at the moment in Baltimore, and that will impact their vehicle industry quite significantly.
But the one thing that really sort of strikes me out of this, Tom, is just the fragility of the global supply chain network, where clearly what seems to be a tragic event really does lead to a significant disruption. But as you point out, even a drought in the Panama Canal can lead to disruption of shipping and can therefore lead to inflation, and therefore all of us ultimately feel that effect.
Yeah, so basically the Panama Canal and Red Sea crisis, there's been some reports suggesting that that would impact inflation by up to 0.7% globally. So that has quite a significant impact. And even before that, you had the Ever Given getting stuck in the Panama Canal, which was quite disruptive for quite a while through there. Now the droughts in the Panama Canal seem to be becoming less of an issue of late, with increase in transit through there. And the Red Sea crisis is obviously going to go on for the foreseeable future. So we don't know when that issue will end. But with the US crisis at the moment, with Baltimore, there are alternatives thanks to other ports nearby.
Does it ever strike you that most of us get our goods or services, whatever they might be, they turn up, and for the majority of people, they don't even think how or where it comes from? This almost brings it home to people, just that there is a supply chain and that it is delicate.
Yeah, similar to COVID. So nobody really knew much about our industry prior to COVID. So those sort of disruptions are becoming more common of late and more prevalent thanks to geopolitical issues, issues such as incidents like this at the moment. So it's quite substantial as to how it impacts industry when you have an issue. But the geopolitical issues are quite more significant than what we see at the moment with Baltimore. But it does obviously impact trade, and people stop to think, where am I going to get my goods from and how long is this going to add to the transit?
Yeah, Tom Jensen from the Freight and Trade Alliance, many thanks for your time today.
Thanks, Ross.